Hey, you guys, and welcome to my channel. It is a Sunday for me, and I'm at home, pretty tired actually. Not too tired to make this video, but tired nonetheless. I was listening to someone, and they asked some questions, and the answers were pretty obvious to me, but it really wasn't to that person. But I study relationships and human nature and psychology and narcissistic abuse and a lot of things that would give me the information and emotional maturity to understand and see the angles that aren't quite obvious to this person just yet. But either way, the questions, at least part of the questions that the person had, was along the lines of closure. And I have made other videos on this channel that addresses closure. So if you are struggling with feeling like that toxic person or that narcissist didn't provide you with closure, I've made a lot of videos and content on that. All right. But I'm going to provide a different angle here that I don't believe I addressed too much in the other videos that would help you understand what's going on here. So the person was asking a question. They've recently filed for divorce, and they're like, well, if this person wanted to run off into the sunset, so to speak, right? And I've made a video on that. So for those of you who have the perception of the narcissist or the toxic person running off into the sunset, if you will, I highly recommend that you check that video out. But this person was like, if they wanted to leave so bad, why am I the one filing the divorce? You know? And I'm sitting there listening to this person with all these questions and centered around this. And I'm like, they're not considering the source. I really don't think that that person has really fully grasped, who they're dealing with exactly, like fully grasp. I don't think there's been a full grasping of this, all right? Or else it wouldn't be like, all this curiosity and wondering. It would just be pretty obvious at that point. But, when we consider the source, you guys, that really takes us so far with these types of people, with toxic people. A lot of times, what are we dealing with? We're dealing with people that are emotionally stunted, people with poor communication skills. And what are some other important things that we can point out that's typically falls in line with a person like this? They typically do not finish what they start. So when we're dealing with that, they're just jumping from one thing to another. They're not wrapping things up before they jump. As soon as it feels hot to them, they're jumping. They don't care if you're still in the hot pot boiling to your death or, anything. They leave you to pick up those pieces. And I've made videos about that and actually why it's a good thing for those of you who resent them for doing that to you is actually something that's sparing you in a long run and chances are the short term as well. Okay. But, we have to consider the source, you guys. We're not dealing with a mature person. They don't finish anything they start. All they do is switch out people at that point. When we're thinking about how a narcissist operates, and in this particular situation, the guy just basically ran into the arms of another woman rather than working with her and their relationship and the family that he started with her. So when we look at that, when we look at the source and we look at the character of this person, they're not responsible. It's responsible to say, you know what, to have that mature conversation and say, you know what, this isn't working for either one of us. Or maybe say, you know what, we've tried counseling, we've tried everything. Maybe it just really wasn't meant for us. Maybe we missed some things early on and we still kept going and here we are. How can we do this in the most peaceful manner? Ooh, somebody's caught out there in the rain. It's a rainy day. And there are some kids acting up, trying to run to their home out of the rain. I could just hear that. I got my window cracked over there so I can hear everything loud. Mm. Uh, let me get distracted. I'm distracted and digressing here. I'm tired, you guys. But either way, it's so crazy, and you can see your growth when you're listening to people who are where you used to be and how you've worked through it and how obvious things become to you at that point. I don't like all that noise. Oh my gosh. Annoying. It's a little annoying. And it's so obvious, It's so obvious. But a lot of times we can't see beyond our hurt and our pain, and then even more than that, we are where we are in our journey, they just aren't to that place yet. But why isn't the narcissist giving you closure? They don't finish what they start. That's why you have to be the finisher. Ultimately, you're in a position to have to be the finisher. You're in the position to be able to take control of the situation and to make sure that no contact continues, even if they aren't respecting it, even if they are trying to intercept it, because they can only do what you allow them to do. But what can we expect out of a person, particularly in this situation, who has been like a revolving door, hopping in and hopping out? This is what they do to people. They don't care about tying up loose ends and having a real fresh start with the next person. Like, oh, well, I'm not legally divorced yet. Maybe I shouldn't really be with you. Or, I haven't even filed for a divorce, let alone for it to be official. I haven't even filed for it. Just they're messy people. They're messy people. What are you going to expect from them? We have to consider the source, and we have to continue to consider the source, because once we do that, the answers have become very obvious as to why they're not being responsible, why they're not following through, why they're dropping the ball, why there's a push and pull, why they keep abandoning, why they keep breaking the connection, and everything else. Why are they cheating? Why can't they be honest? Why can't they keep their words? All these things about them, when we're considering the source, it becomes obvious, and it's not personal to us what they're doing. What's personal to us is what we accept. What we accept, that's the personal part. But with how they're leading their life and what they're trying to project on us, what they're trying to push on you, that's you. That's you right there. So, there's some self-reflection that's going to have to come along with that. All right. And then if we go back to my video on why it's good that they left you to pick up the pieces, at that point, you know what? I'm more than happy to take control of this situation, because obviously it's too much weight for you. It's more than you can handle, and once we wrap our minds around that, the immaturity of these people, what else can you expect from them? Of course, you're going to have to be the one to file the divorce. Of course, you're going to be the one to pick up the pieces. But see the blessing in that, because how long would you be waiting for that divorce to occur, for that ending, to really snip things or really clear the air? Like, how long would you really be waiting if we wait for them? Because they are very happy to move on with their lives while they're still creating situations all around them. Like, he's moved on to the next person, but you still ain't tied up your loose ends over here. And then there's a messy woman with a lot of lessons to learn. She's on that energy level that's open arms about it, right? Minimally, she knew that he had a wife and a baby on the way, minimally, right? So, it's just a lot of messiness. But what can we expect from messy people but more messy behaviors, messy decisions? I'm not going to expect a dramatic turnaround at that point. Okay? All right. And then in the same instance, the person, was talking about how why are most men full of ish and all this other stuff. And, this is because this person is being, shaped by all, the men that have failed her in her life. And I've made a video on that, how all men aren't narcissists, because they all aren't, but it was her picker and her emotional immaturity. Okay. And there's a lot of things that, that person is going to have to grieve. Calling that person her best friend. No, that person was never your friend to treat you this way. Friends don't do that, let alone a husband. Okay? Your husband should be your best friend. In a certain sense. But, to top all of that, be your own best friend now. Be your own best friend. All right? Be your best friend first and foremost, shit. For real. For real. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with having love in your life or having a serious partner or, being reciprocated in a mutual, relationship of respect and care and tenderness and all these beautiful things that, some people do get to experience when we're talking about two healthy people together, But there's toxic things within that person, that needs to be squared away. And it's why she keeps gravitating towards masculine toxic energy as well. All right. But, either way, I know a lot of people can probably relate to having these questions about closures. Why aren't they doing the right thing? Why won't they just have this final conversation? Why won't they tie up loose ends? That's not what they do. That's not what they're about. That's not the energy that they are in. So, I'm not going to expect them to suddenly become mature and all of these things. All right. But I'm not going to go on and on about this. Rewatch this video if you need to. And I will tag the other videos about conflict onto here as well. Or as far as not conflict so much, it does create a conflict sometimes when we need that. But in those videos, I talk about getting it from yourself. Then you don't need to have all those questions answered by them because you're going to give yourself the closure. And once you learn how to do that, it eliminates all that other stuff, all right? But if this video resonated with you, go ahead and hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. A lot of content, guys, over 600 videos here to help you increase your emotional maturity. All right, if you're struggling with childhood inner wounds, if you're struggling to get over a breakup or understand yourself internally, your external environment, you're having troubles reaching goals, you feel stuck in your life, you need a shift and all types of stuff, feel free to hire me to be your personal coach, life coach. You can go to my website, lakiacrawford.com, to schedule your appointment. All right. I have all types of packages, you guys, for all types of situations. I do voice calls and FaceTimes. I do email coaching. And then for those of you who have been financially abused by the narcissist, and you feel like, the private pay may be more than your budget would allow for you right at this moment, but you still want to be proactive and get the help that you need, join me over on Patreon. It's a great way to get that help. I believe at the $24.99, or that's basically less than $25 a month, you can get 3 coaching sessions with me a year and some other perks as well. Once you sign up and pay your initial $24.99, that entitles you to your first 1-hour session, which can be a voice or a FaceTime. So this is a great way to get coaching with me and not have to pay the full rate up front per se, and actually save over time. Okay. So that's something else to look into. So it's no excuse for anyone not to be able to get the coaching that they need. I meet everyone where they are. And I also have 2 free support groups, all right, for those who are survivors of narcissistic abuse. You can see the links below. One of the support groups are private and one is public. So yet again, here's another opportunity for you to network with other survivors and have a certain kind of access to me beyond the YouTube channel, all right? With that being said, you guys, you can check the description below for everything else that I have going on. And it's all also accessible through my website as well, you guys. I've written 4 therapeutic books. I have a lot of merchandise on my website. The Teespring merch is under the videos here. There's many ways that you can show support to the channel. Free ways to always show support to the channel is to always hit the like button, you guys, to always leave comments and be interactive participants and not wallflowers. It helps to push the content out in YouTube world, all right? And we need channels like this to be spread out. It's just a way of paying it forward. So if this channel has blessed you, make sure that you're always hitting the like button. As soon as you start listening, just hit it. Get it out the way. Leave a comment, help build momentum to pushing the content out, all right? And it's more exposure for other people, all right? So we're helping to spread awareness. We're helping to increase emotional maturity. All right, you guys. So thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for tuning in, of course. And until next time, never give up on yourself. Continue to do the work and take care.